What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Killer Shrew Fans Killer Toy Reviews. We have got yet another review coming your way today, and we're super excited for it. Today we are going to be taking a look at this guy, the new, for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Wave 2 Ankylosaurus Roarivore figure by Mattel. Now, I know we didn't last too long with doing figures outside of the Mattel Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom range, and I'm sorry about that. I have very little self-control. But, come on, these toys are just too cool not to talk about, and it is our very first Wave 2 review that we're going to be doing for you. Someone actually requested this in the comments a while back when these things were just hitting the shelves, and I always seem to get them late, so I've already forgotten who that comment came from. If it was you, feel free to shout it out in the comment section down below. But yes, we're going to be taking a look at the Ankylosaurus for you today, and we're going to start off by taking a look at the packaging, and then of course we're going to do everyone's favorite part, the unboxing. So without further ado, let's do this. So the packaging is pretty standard to what we've seen in the past. You've got the Jurassic World logo in the top left corner, the bars of a cage, keeping with the themes of removing the dinosaurs from Isla Nublar, Owen and Blue down in the bottom left corner, a 3+ year warning, which I qualify for. There you can see Ankylosaurus Roarivore there, and a little diagram of the action feature that comes with this toy. Moving up the back, you've got the Kenner-like packaging with the forests of Isla Nublar silhouetted with orange and reds and warm colors. You've got the roaring icon there. You can see the volcano erupting in the background and a button so that you can try this figure out in stores before you buy it. The back of the box, again, we've seen this same layout before. You've got a diagram of the dinosaur, and in the bottom left corner you can see the other dinosaurs that are available for Wave 3. You've got the Ceratosaurus, Pteranodon, and the Triceratops is a holdover from the initial Wave 1 lineup. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say Wave 3? This is Wave 2, that's my bad. So yes, the packaging on this Ankylosaurus is pretty standard to what we have seen so far from Mattel. It's beautiful, beautiful, eye-catching box art. Absolutely knocked it out of the park with the overall appearance of these products on the shelf. But without further ado, I think it's time we freed this Ankylosaurus from its cardboard prison. Best way to do this, I hate to do it as a collector, but you just, excuse me, take some scissors here, snip. It's so disheartening to see that. And then, sorry, I can't really see what I'm doing, but then there's another one back kind of behind the haunches there. There we go. Just a quick snip, and the Ankylosaurus is free, and he's kind of looking a little flat right now. Why don't we get the legs up under it? There, now he's standing up and ready to go. So out of the box, I think this guy looks fantastic. Cannot wait to give you guys a closer look at this particular model. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into the details and the gimmicks and the posability options. So let's do this. So taking a look at the head here, as you can see, Mattel have not skimped on the detail with this Ankylosaurus figure. You've got scales, wrinkles, the beak has a subtle texturation going on, the eyelids are all sculpted, all there. There's a lot of character in this face. I don't know if it's the sculpting or the paint or the eye itself, but I feel like this is a very lifelike face. There's a lot of personality behind it. Moving down the body, you can see more of the amazing details that Mattel. See, I'm calling it a Kenner figure. It's so dang good. That Mattel have integrated into this Ankylosaurus. You've got ridges, the ridges are scaled, you've got individual spikes and spines and osteoderms. Everything you would expect on an Ankylosaurus figure is here, present and accounted for. Mattel did a bang-up job with the sculptural details on this model. Once you get down to the tail, the detail is kind of lost because they didn't do as good a job with painting it. But once you get to the famous club, the detail definitely comes back in full, and you can see all of the little nuances that Mattel crammed in there. Going back up the opposite side, it's really the same story. Scales, ridges, osteoderms, spikes, everything is here. It looks fantastic. Mattel really did a great job with the sculptural elements of this Ankylosaurus. And then we come up to that beautiful head. Again, a lot of personality and life behind that. taking a look, a more vertical look at this model, you can really see what I'm talking about with just how much detail Mattel has crammed into the sculpt. I mean, look at all that. Scales of varying shapes, sizes, and orientations, all crammed together in a nice flowing way. Now, if we take a look at the arms and legs of this Ankylosaurus, this is kind of where I am lost a little bit on this model. There's some really good sculptural details. The anatomy is very well done. The scaling and wrinklage is all there. It's just, proportionally speaking, I feel like they're a little on the long side. I don't know if that's exactly it, but there's something about these legs and arms that just doesn't sit right with me. I mean, they look a little better on this side, but I just think overall, this Ankylosaurus, it feels off in terms of its bodily proportions. Like I said, everything on the back and the tail and the head is fantastic, but there's something about these legs that's just throwing me, and I really don't know what it is. Can someone help me out in the comments below? Maybe point out what I'm trying to say? I have no idea. If we take a look at the underbelly, you can see Mattel have even detailed this area of the sculpture with scales and all that. You see the speaker system there. It looks like this Ankylosaurus is stricken with leprosy or something. He's kind of rotting away in that vicinity. But the back left foot, left foot features the QR code that you can scan into your phone so you can learn more about the Ankylosaurus. And the back right foot features the Jurassic World emblem, which has been moved from the thigh to the bottom of the foot. And then we get to the tail, and if we move up, we've got this really weird transitional area of paint where the lower part of the club and tip of the tail are not painted that same brown color. It's a very, very abrupt and ugly transition, and I feel like that deserves to be called out. Let's talk about the paint. The paint scheme on this Ankylosaurus feels pretty accurate to what we see in the movie, blues, grays, and browns. I think it might have gone a little too far with the blues, not far enough with the grays, but like I said, it's not horribly off to what we see in the movie, and it's refreshing to see that Mattel is really looking to the source material when they make these toys. And just the fact that it all gradiates so well together. The gray goes into the blue really nicely, and then there's a little bit of a darker green at the club tail that gradiates beautifully into the rest of the body, and then the brown is reserved just for the underbelly. Like, that's all working for me. I do like the paint job on this Ankylosaurus. Now, as far as articulation goes on this model, you've got fairly wide range of movement on this thing. You can do the neck. As you can see, it's a ball and socket joint, so it can go down and up slightly, and to the sides, all over with this head. Unfortunately, if you put him too far down, you can see that the back of the neck is not painted the green color. So I prefer to keep my head up, but again, up, down. The legs, you can move them forward and backwards. They don't really rotate on this guy, unfortunately. They maybe just a little bit, but not a lot. The back legs can go forward. These ones you can push out just a little bit further than the front legs. But yeah, no, these front legs are kind of in a fixed position in terms of their how far out from the chest they are. And then, of course, the tail is articulated as part of the action gimmick. You can just swing that on your own. Speaking of the action gimmick, let's give it a test here, shall we? So we've got Owen Grady in here trying to sneak up on this Ankylosaurus, and oh, bad idea. The button's gonna take him out. All you gotta do is push that little button, seated nice and well. It's really well hidden when you look at this thing from a lower plane, but there it is in the back. All you gotta do is give that a little push, and you can see that the tail swings. It's got sound effects. You can't push it down too far though, otherwise it kind of just clicks at you and it don't get as much swing. But the more you push it, the more momentum it builds, and of course you can just swing it on your own free will. And here you can hear some of the sound effects that come with this Ankylosaurus. So yes, very good to have such a unique action feature for just the species. I know a lot of the Roarivores are kind of carnivores and all they do is open their mouth, but since the Ankylosaurus, its business end is that club, Mattel was sure to integrate that in a very cool way. As far as the size on this model goes, you're looking at right around 8 inches long here, 9 inches long, 9.5, which is about 24 centimeters in terms of the length. And then in terms of the height, he's kind of a stubby dude, so you're looking at right around 3.25 inches off the ground, which is about 8.5 centimeters. And then in terms of the width, because this is certainly a wide toy, we're going to give you a bonus measurement today. You're looking at right around just about 4 inches wide when this tape measure is stretched. Well, no, longer. You're looking at right around 5 inches from the furthest spike to the furthest spike, which is just over 12 centimeters. So, yes, quite the hefty figure in terms of its width. For size comparisons, we're going to go ahead and bring in our still reigning champion of favorite Mattel Jurassic World toy. It is the Carnotaurus, our good friend Carnage here. And as you can see, he towers over our Ankylosaurus figure today. I'm not sure how screen accurate this is to the movie. The Carnotaurus might be a little big for that, but yeah, hopefully this will give you an idea of the scale that you can expect of this Ankylosaurus should you not have it already or have not seen it yet. Next up, we're going to go ahead and bring in one of Mattel's mini dinosaurs. It's the mini Ankylosaurus, and I think these two work really well together. It's like an adult and a youngling, hatchling, kind of hanging out with each other, and both of them feature the tail articulation points. Mattel did a great job with this lineup. The fact that we can have a mini version and a big version that are just spitting images of each other is just so cool to me. And next up, a non-Fallen Kingdom item. It's our recently reviewed Papo Compsognathus. If you'd like to hear our thoughts on that, link will be in the description. But yes, I thought it would be fitting to bring this one in since we just recently reviewed it, and also since it is an unofficial Jurassic Park dinosaur model. Well, everyone, that is going to do it for our look at the new for 2018 Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Ankylosaurus Roarivore figure. And I gotta say, overall, I do enjoy this one. It's certainly not my favorite of the Roarivores, but it's certainly one of the better ones, and I do highly recommend you go out and pick it up. They should still be available at Walmart. I still see these ones around a lot. So you shouldn't have any trouble finding this figure. If you were to ask me who done it better, Hasbro or Mattel, I would say Mattel knocked this out of the park. I mean, Hasbro's Basher and Biter Ankylosaurus was one of their better figures, and even that bows to this. So yes, highly recommend this as one of the Roarivores if you're gonna get one. And like I said, you should be able to find them at Walmart. My only issue is the overall proportion of the legs, I would say, and some weird paint areas, but beyond that, this is a darn good figure. As always, I would love to hear what you guys think of this model. Do you own it yet? Are you going to get it? Which is your favorite of the Roarivore lineup? Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments section below. Any other Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom related thoughts you may have, feel free to spew them out. I'd love to hear all of those as well. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today to our review. If you haven't done so already and you want to hear from us again in the future, be sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. And if you feel we earned it, don't be afraid to leave a like down below. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in, and that's going to do it for us today. Killer Shrew Fan out.